Whoa! Welcome everyone. Today's kind of a weird spontaneous stream. I had no immediate plans to do anything. I was just drawing something, working on like some art. So I was like, I might as well just stream it. It's kind of late, but to keep myself motivated and just to draw a little bit more or continue like working on this piece. I do plan for a more complete art stream or like a planned one later this week where I'm gonna work on my model and stuff, but for now, yeah, we're gonna just draw. It's just gonna go straight to the media room. Yeah, this is what we have today. I'm gonna go and get some music. I am planning to play no, let's go look for let's see if this doesn't get claimed. Can you guys hear this stuff? I'm worried about getting claimed by Nintendo, so I don't really want to play because I'm not sure if, well, I did stream Metroid, so I guess it won't. That'll be fine. If it does, like, just mute it. It's fine. I'm not worried. Alright, I'm gonna work on some more Poppy. So yeah. I think I'm almost done with her skin. Yeah, play it safe, but I'm not sure. Does Metroid music get claimed? It doesn't seem like it. Yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna play it low and literally hope for the best. Hello, hello. Welcome. Okay, so let's see. As far as I know, her body is a little, color's fine. I'm gonna just soften it out a little bit. Yep. I'm gonna pick something else because this is more music that I would listen on my own time. So I'm gonna pick just like relax. Oh no, last time I did that, I don't have to fucking do lo-fi, copyright free. It's just like the way we have to do things, because sadly everything gets claimed. So okay, I'm just playing it safe. That's just my prerogative right now. Maybe I should, yeah, maybe I should grab this. Oh, it's too thick. Oh, that's better. Okay, now I want to finish her ears. I found that the best way to draw like fur on ears or stuff like that is to do most of it. So you can see that her ears are not necessarily formed this way, right? Like the shadows wouldn't look this way. But the easiest way I found to do fur is to do a lot of it dark and then like not necessarily go for the darkest value, go for like a dark middle value or like darker value in between the darkest and the like a middle tone. And so from there you can just go like, it's easier to to clean up, like you see. Found that it's just better to do it this way, for me at least. Some people will argue that they find it's better to just but I like sculpting the fur out of the dark values, so for me it's just more, it's also more fun. I mean, it's such a minor point, but for me I like it this way. Yeah, I'm getting stuff that I like better here. And this way you can work some easy values. I haven't done like a proper art stream in a while, so quite happy that I just went with it. Not that there's a whole lot, it's just like something that I've already done. It's already aligned, so I'm just doing something more chill. Because the stressing part for me in terms of art, I've probably already spoken about this, but it's mostly getting the pose right, doing the sketch, refining the sketch, doing the line work, or cleaning the sketch so it looks like proper line art. Those tend to be the most stressing parts, but once I'm done with it, for me it's just easier to just color, because it's kind of like cathartic, or just when you were a kid and you had like the coloring books and stuff like that, it's just like I treat it like that. And for me, it becomes a lot more fun. Because some people, it's like, I hate coloring. Like, not a whole lot of people, because coloring is kind of like the most fun part. but for a lot of people just don't like it, and I'm like, well, I mean, it's the most fun part. Personally, I like it a lot. Whether I keep using the same techniques over and over or not, it doesn't matter. Sometimes I like to experiment, but generally it boils down to I just go with the flow with coloring. For line art, I'm trying to be less rigid, but I get rigid. Most of my line art I feel is a little bit rigid, just because I get a little stressed about it, and I focus too much on it and stuff, and well, my coloring I think is a little bit better than my line art. Well, I don't understand, like, my knowledge in color theory is kind of bad. It could be better. It's okay. And I should make a point of trying to get better at it, but I'm so caught up with anatomy that I'd rather I respect this guy a lot. I forgot his name. And that's pretty bad to say, but again, I'm not very good with names. God. Well, it doesn't matter. I'll remember his name later on. This guy that I respect a lot, he used to we used to talk like somewhat often. Not too often, just like talk, but one thing that I'll never forget that he told me was that you cannot hide bad anatomy with good coloring, but you can certainly hide bad coloring with good anatomy. Like even like I think it's, I mean, I can sort of disagree and agree at the same time, because I feel like some anatomy is like, I wouldn't say horrid, but not very good, but the coloring is amazing. Like the colors take you away, and I think maybe not having like proper anatomy is part of the appeal of that type of stuff, but I think I see what he means. Because I think if you understand the basic rules, you're allowed to bend them. And it makes, like, if you don't really know anatomy, and like even if you have really good coloring, it'll come out a lot more. It'll pop out a lot more than your choice of colors. But hey, art is subjective, so some people may feel to disagree on that point, so, and that's okay. Also, I talked about this in the this Discord server, but I mentioned that I won't be, not for now, but I don't think I will be streaming more Metroid Dread, just because like I realized that, like I like the game, I finished it, but it's not because I couldn't contain myself. It was more like I realized like I really want to play the game, but I also when I was playing it, I was getting frustrated, lost a lot, and I know that's part of the appeal, but I'm not a very Metroid 2D scrollers are a lot out of my wheelhouse, and I'm a casual, so I was getting like upset. Not on stream, because I played it a little bit on my own just to like get acquainted with it a little bit more. But then I was just like, fuck it, I'll just like play it now. But I was getting very angry and upset at some parts, and I was like, that's not gonna be fun to stream. Like, I'd rather play games on stream that are easier for me to enjoy in a more calm manner, but also like stuff that's a little more story oriented, like RPGs, or maybe something like Animal Crossing, things that are more chill. Because I can't, like, I'm not a dedicated streamer, right? I'm only doing this for fun. And so for me, I'm not exactly like the most proficient streamer, let's just put it this way. So dividing my attention was also making it hard for me to like keep up and stuff like that. So I'd rather just focus on games that are, for one, more retro, because I think I want to go more for a retro vibe, or replay some older games, or games that are just overall easier to stream and I have a lot more to comment on, rather than stuff that requires me to pay more attention to. That doesn't mean I will never not stream it. I will probably pick it up again and do it like a third stream, but do it on hard mode, and or like, you know, just complete it 100% or do stuff like that. But now that I've already beaten it, it's like I can take it easy. Cause boy, like it took, like, the final boss took me close to 2 hours, because like the part that nobody had trouble with, I had trouble with, and I was just getting angry and like audibly and visibly upset, which normally I'm not like that, but I have little patience, and you know, I don't think 2 hours of that would have been fun to stream. So I just decided that maybe the best thing to do is just to stream stuff that's a little more chill, and I can get, you know, angry on my own time. I know that the appeal sometimes is to watch the streamer get upset, but I don't want, that's not what I want for this channel. There's a lot of people that already do that capitalize on anger. And again, I don't want to be that type of streamer. We're just here to hang out. I'm okay with people making... It is a bit harder to stream and enjoy. For me, particularly. I know there's tons of people, like, you know, Vinesauce, like I'm watching his VODs, Vinny Vinesauce, and he's like streaming, but you can tell like when his attention is divided that he can't really pay attention. He'll stop on his tracks or like do something mundane in the game, and he's talking about whatever. And when he's actually paying attention to the game, he's quiet. So it's not a game that you're... Yeah, I don't like... Here's the thing. I think my anger, I can jokingly get angry at stuff, or like get like friendly upset in the way that, like, when your friend fucks up your vibe on Mario Party or something like that. But like getting Dark Souls or Metroid, like angry at Metroid, is a different beast altogether. It's like I'm genuinely like upset. Like I lose my, like, it's not that I smash controllers or anything. That's not like I've never done that. Nor I'll shake the controller and just be like trying to squeeze it as hard as I can. It was just like, see, here's the thing though. Like I knew that the Switch Pro controller, or the Switch controllers in general, like the Joy-Cons or whatever, I knew that those suck. So when I got a replacement controller for my Xbox, a controller that I had on my PC, I wanted to get one that I could pair with my Switch, and I got the 8-bit DOVA, and it's a far better controller than anything. It's essentially like a PS5 controller or a PS4 controller, which to me is the best controller in the industry, hands down. I love the Sony controllers. So when I got the 8-bit DOVA, which is one better because it doesn't have the same Joy-Con, like the Joy-Con, I guess, or it doesn't have like that issue that all the controllers have, because it's made with different parts, and it's light and fun to use. Slap the knee angry. Yeah, it's more like I just shake and squeeze the controller, but I don't ever hit myself. Like I've never like slapped my knee or like it's more of like, come on, like if I'm wearing a hat, I'll smash it in the ground. But I've never like things that like break, I've never thrown or like even if I'm angry, I'm at least conscious of what I'm doing. Because I'm not typically a person that gets angry, so I mean, I don't know if that's a positive or a negative, but I at least have that level of emotional control when I'm like angry, because it's directed like at something, not like a person. Like I've never. Here's the thing: I've never been like enraged or incredibly angry at someone. So, but yeah, I tend to avoid games like these. Not, I mean, my issue with Dread was that it's not necessarily made. It's not very it's not very casual friendly, and that's not a bad thing. Like I can feel some people are rolling their eyes because I know there's some like I could beat it, right? But it's not a game that it's a game that teaches you by doing stuff. But I feel like they could have had two levels of difficulty in terms of not less, not like, I don't know, like I would have appreciated something that would have made it a little more easier for people that are more using this game as an introduction, because this game is like, if you're a Metroid fan, this is your game. But if you've never played a Metroid game outside of Prime, you're gonna be very it. I mean, if you're not good at games like I am, you're just gonna be like, what? You know, you're gonna spend the 10 hours that supposedly this game is mostly you fucking up. So again, Dread is an amazing game, but it's, you know, you need to, if you haven't played it or you're thinking of buying it, just watch someone play it first. Someone that's not a pro, or someone that's never played a Metroid game before. Ask for their opinion, because that will tell you, that's a better indication of whether you should buy it or not, I think. Because a lot of people will tell you it's an amazing game, but it's different when you play it, because you need to be aware that it depends on the kind of, if you're a person that doesn't get upset at video games, like, you know, go ahead, pick it up. You'll learn by dying. That's something that I don't appreciate. It's not like my favorite trope in video games, where like you die a lot of times and as you die you learn. I'm okay with dying like once or twice, but dying like 50 times until I get a picture perfect, it's not my cup of tea. That's a speedrunner thing. And this game was done with speedrunners in mind, which is amazing, because the devs actually gave a shit when they made the game. But it's also like, I don't know, like I'm ragging on the difficulty, but it's also, the difficulty is also a good thing, because it means the game is not like baby easy. Because if it were baby easy, the game be like 4 hours, and then people wouldn't buy the game because they're like, what am I paying $60 for? That is a thing to take. I would recommend a heap of games, but other experiences will be unique to mine later. Yeah, and here's the thing. That's why I don't always recommend like a lot of RPG games, because, for example, most people, they've played Persona. Like, if we get into RPGs, let's put Persona. I don't even want to use Persona. Let's use Final Fantasy as an example. So if someone asks me, oh, I played Final Fantasy VII, the remake, should I play the original one? To which my answer would be, I played all the, which my answer would be, I don't know, maybe not, because the problem with turn-based RPG is that you have to be a patient person, or not necessarily patient, just more of like, it's the game stops for you to play it. It's not action packed or whatever, and there's a lot of like equipping on equipping, preparations and stuff like that, and like nowadays less and less people have, like, for example, take a person like Donkey. Donkey hates RPGs, and he will pick up an RPG and then rag on it and destroy it and say it's the worst game he's ever played. But that's because he doesn't like appreciate RPGs, but that's like, I respect his opinion, because I am like, most of the games that he plays, I'm not interested in them. So it's like, if you want to consider playing an RPG but you don't play RPGs, it's better to listen to a person that doesn't play them and likes the game, because then you're like, okay, then I will probably like it as well. But you have to be like, I don't normally play the like Metroidvanias or whatever. It's the latest ports that have the sped up feature that I can at least be agnostic why people want. Yeah. So yeah. Here's the thing. Okay, here's another thing. Like, I'll use another example. The problem with scaling up is that sometimes when you look at older games, you'll run into a situation where people won't bother with the older games. So, taking a look at Persona. A lot of people think, oh, this is like a good RPG because it's fast-paced, like there's different stuff or whatever. But I'd argue that Persona 4 is better, in my opinion, like story-wise and everything. But a lot of people that have played Persona 5, they don't like Persona 4 because they're like, oh, this is like so slow, and it's not like Persona 5. But of course it's not, because the thing is, like, a lot of older RPG games have a lot of motif and themes, and Persona 4 is supposed to be small, quaint, and it's an older type of RPGs, and so there's less and less classic RPGs being made because the tone of gaming has changed, where now fast-paced and being able to press X to parry and stuff like that are like predominantly like things that happen, and even they're like their own genres. Like, games need to be moving all the time now, at least from what I've observed. And yeah, I like taking my time with games, and I like my games lasting 70 hours because I enjoy story, I enjoy like exploring stuff and whatnot. And games that are a lot more skill based are not in my wheelhouse. So, but again, that's only just me. I certainly enjoy different kinds of games because I like Yakuza, and Yakuza's like fun as shit. And it's pretty much like a beat 'em up RPG. Stuff has to be fast and stylish. Here's the problem though, with that. I wouldn't say necessarily a problem. Is that style? Okay. In terms of gaming, I think we've essentially reached a point where style and gimmick are more important. Because a lot of games are, don't want to say derivative, but more like there's a lot of games that look like other games that if you like, even if the story is amazing, it doesn't matter. Like you need something that people will talk about, and maybe being flashy is kind of like a lot of games have to court players into playing them. So they'll have like something that's fast paced, that'll make like blast processing, It makes you feel like you are the character, and I mean, I don't know, like, full disclosure, I don't, this is just more like pure observation, like I merely talking out of my ass. But that's just what I feel like. A lot of competition is tough out there, really, in terms of gaming. Like, if you make a game, like, your stuff, like, you have to have good marketing or like know what you're doing, because you can make probably the best game ever made, but if you're not, if it doesn't really capture the attention, like, what sticks and doesn't stick is kind of like arbitrary, but if it's, if it's flashy, it's certainly easier for it to be picked up, because people are going to be like, oh, what's this, like, what's this, and it'll catch their attention. And then you have games like, I want to say games like, what's the name of it? Undertale, that just completely break the mold, and it develops like a crazy fan base like almost immediately, and not necessarily not without reason. It's just more one of those games that just becomes a phenomenon. Because I guarantee, like, we've talked about this. Toby Fox certainly didn't expect this game to go the way it went. And again, personally, I played it and I didn't find it nothing out of the ordinary. Like, it's good. It's a good game. It's great, but it's nothing that I care too much about. But people, love this game. Like, tons of art came out of it, massive fan base, like, just some things like, just incredibly, take the world by storm, whether the creator intended for it or not. Makes sense. The industry is so big now, and a lot of games could easily fall into specific genre and niches that they'll become compared to other. Yeah, that is true. And that's the thing why I've noticed that building your own fan base should be your top priority when marketing the game, trying to like build a community and stuff like that. Because even if your game isn't like $1 million successful, your goal is as a game developer to sell about like at a profit margin, right? Maybe the game costs you $0 to make, but you did put man hours into it, and that factors into the time. Like, you want return of investment when you develop like anything. So you want to make sure that whatever it is that you did, there's returns on it. And the best way to do that is if you build a community that's, I wouldn't say incredibly loyal to you, but would buy things that you put out. And the way you do that is not necessarily by making a magnum opus, but by building faith in putting stuff out. So if you promise that you're going to make this like fun little like baseball game with wacky characters, as long as you make it sincere and fun, you're gonna get your own fan base, and they're like, oh, we love this game. Like this guy like will put stuff out, and so next year you put an update, or you put a different version, or you put like a basketball game with wacky characters, and then you keep building up on that. People will talk, and you'll get word of mouth. Because the problem with hoping your game will go viral is that you are essentially trying to figure out a campaign that will not only not be cringe, but is also not feeling forced. So I feel like sincerity is probably the best marketing tool out there, in my experience. Just putting something that you would play or making something that you would consume is the best way I can describe. Oh, thank you. Oh, right. I forgot to add a little bit of light. I have to fix this. I forgot about that. So I'm going to do this. Maybe add a little bit. You accidentally called a teacher mom? I used to do that a lot when I was a kid. And I feel like that's a lot more common that people make it out to be. Because I feel like, oh, you were one of those kids. Because the thing is, like, when you're a kid, outside of, you spend a lot of time with your, I mean, generally speaking, a lot of people don't have this situation. It's more of, like, a lot of people spend a lot of time with their parents, with their mom, specifically. And people will, it's like, generally because a teacher, whether male or female, will be there, and you'll just, like, immediately associate mom, dad, and I mean, when it happens, I remember, like, when it happens as a kid, people laugh, but even if they laughed at me, like, 5 minutes later, some kid is gonna do it too, because it's just like a subconscious thing. It's in the same way where, like, you're either thinking of someone, or when you're talking to someone. Let's say you're talking to some guy called Bob, and you're like, by the way, Bob, and Bob, and, like, you keep saying Bob, or and then you turn around and the girl next to you is called Tina, and you go like, hey, Bob, like, it'll slip. It's just like the mind plays games on you, whether you want it or not. It doesn't help when your mom is actually a teacher too. Or when your mom is your teacher. Hey, Lam, I'm good. How about you? How's stuff? Okay, now we grab this. So I'm gonna go with this color here. Limon. I actually learning how PureF works to practice art again. I see. It's good to hear you back in the saddle. Parents trying to talk their kids when they say the name of every other kid. You know what happens? My brothers and I, we have the same name, and I've told this story a million times, but my mom will often confuse our names. But I've seen, like, even I've seen my aunt she has my two cousins, like, the eldest one, she's lady. And the other one is a dude. And my aunt like consistently will mess up their names for no reason either. She's just like looking dead straight at them, and she'll say the name of the other kid, and it's just like, and she's just like, oh my god, I keep doing it. But is that like, and my mom, and I know it happens when she's, it without fail, it happens when she is looking at my cousin, the younger one, and she wants to tell him about his sister, and she'll say her name but not say his name, and vice versa. Like, I've seen that happen, and I'm like, it's just like the mind is weird. The mind will, for no reason, play tricks on you. The subconscious is incredibly interesting, but also way above my pay grade to try and decipher it. Also, I this week, speaking of like mind games, I was watching. I wasn't really like actively watching it. My dad was like, "Oh, I want to see like there's this documentary about UFOs." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking like?" It's like, I don't know if like a lot of you had History Channel, but I don't know if you remember like the Cookie, weird, sensationalist History Channel documentaries about aliens. But it's like a Netflix produced one, but it's just like that, sensationalist, and it's a bunch of people just being like, aliens do really exist. I was abducted by one, and you're like, oh god, it's one of these, and he's just like looking at it. I'm like, okay, here, He fell asleep, needless to say, but the next day I'm like, I'm gonna show you like a documentary that you actually could watch. And if you're not familiar with a YouTube account called Let Me Know, he makes these amazing documentaries of like niche things, and he's very like it is like Netflix grade, even higher than Netflix grade documentaries. He does an amazing job at that kind of stuff. And I was like, here, you need to watch this. And I put some of the videos that he made about aliens, and it's like one of the most like, because he approaches it like the subject from a non-believer standpoint, wanting to believe, right? And that's a very good approach, because you're looking at everything from like a very logistical standpoint, and you're trying to discard things that you're not discarding the theory. You're trying to find things that would discard the theory, in sense like evidence that points against it. You're trying to discard it, but then again, you're looking at it. Okay, well, this happened and whatnot, and it's incredibly like it's interesting. I like that approach, and yeah. Okay, so now I need to figure out something. So I want. I think I might do white for her top. I think it might be better, maybe with a little bit of red. Yeah, that's better. Am I easy to scare? Yeah, I scare easily. Like I don't even know like how well to describe it. I scare easily, but yeah, I spook easily. I don't play horror games for a reason, or I try not to play horror games for a reason. Like it's so easy to scare me. I remember watching what movie was it? Oh, it was it's the fucking found footage movie Paranormal Activity. Like I watched the first one. I couldn't sleep for like 3 days. Like I actually did not sleep for 3 days. That's how easy I scare. After the like, once you see the first one, I mean, once you see the first one, the next ones are kind of like, oh, okay, I get it. Like it's not real, and it's just like, it's like a chair moves, and then at the end you get like the stupid jump scare where the lady goes, and then that's it. I remember as a kid, I saw The Exorcist. I also couldn't sleep for years. I had trouble sleeping at certain times. Like it would pop in my head, and I was just like, "Oh fuck." That's why I tend to avoid having to watch scary movies. I like sleep. I'm not scared of Chucky because slashers aren't really scary. Slasher movies are more like campy, so they're funny, or they're just supposed to be. You're just waiting for the monster to kill things in creative or different ways. So like if you have something like Jason or Freddy, what you're looking for is just like for them to kill things. That's what you want. I could go for like a darker tone. I think the last horror game I played was we're coming up for the year anniversary now. Was it a year ago? It might have been a year ago. Yeah. The last horror game I played was Resident Evil 2, the remake. And boy, oh boy, was I scared shitless by that game. There were genuine screams in that stream. Genuine. I could not handle Mr. X. Because a lot of that game hinges on. I wouldn't even argue that the running out of like ammo is a problem. It's more of like when something is chasing you, that's when you're like, I could certainly kill this thing, but you're like, no, I just want to run. Like, I forgot the name of the things, like the crawlies that like they react to sound, and you're supposed to like walk like that shit. I hate it. Silent Hill. I'm debating like if I should even pick up Silent Hill. Because I don't know. 7? I've never played 7, but I mean, I could give it a try. Let's see. You guys need to keep in mind though, I will not be able to play, 4 is actually getting a VR port this month. Huh. What was I gonna say? Keep in mind I can't play games that will be high end because I'm going back to my laptop for maybe like a month or two. So I won't have my PC for a good while. So 7 is not scary. Is that the one where Chris punches a boulder into submission? Or is that another one? Is that the time to die, Chris? That's a horrible Wesker. Chris appears in a few. That's 5. Okay. I want to play 5. I should play 5. I want to play 5. I probably should. This needs to be darker. It's a little too dark. Did the music stop? Spooky set. Is that the one with the terrible Spanish? No, wait. I think the problem with Resident Evil isn't scary. Well, here's the thing. Horror is hard to achieve because a lot of people are equating horror to slashers, and they're not the same. Like Halloween, for example, that's a horror movie because it's not technically like focused on the slasher part. It's more focused on this is an unstoppable force, and he has no motive, and it's just like it could be anyone. That's the horror part. Okay. So let's see here. Now I want like Eternal Darkness was a great horror game. I've never played that. I've heard good things about it though. Amnesia I played and I couldn't finish. Or did I finish? I don't remember if I finished it or not. I started playing it because of PewDiePie and then I just couldn't, like, I was terrified. Like, I remember watching PewDiePie and, like, being horrified myself. Not when he did the custom stories, because the custom stories were, like, dumb shit 90% of the time. But when he played the actual game, that shit scared me. That was some real spoops. PT was amazing, and it wasn't even a real game, just a teaser. It's a real shame they never went through with that. They fumbled the ball. Like, how the fuck do you have like one of the most recognized directors two of the most recognized directors, willing to work on one game, tons of people excited because of the teaser, and you're just like, nope, canceled. We're just gonna make pachinko now. It was so hype that even like there's tons of remakes of PT made by fans. Like some are like incredibly, some are like somewhat original, but a lot are like very faithful to the original thing. And PlayStations that have the demo installed sell for like a good amount of money. Like, it's crazy how much people love that. I'm sure if they packaged PT, people would buy it full. It's its own game. Why the fuck they didn't just make it, just be like, Kojima, can you come back? We want you to direct this. Not Metal Gear, just this. And here's the thing. I don't think Kojima's like a genius like people think he is. Yeah, it's Poppy from LOL. Kojima isn't like that crazy of a I think he's clever, but he's not necessarily like a full genius. Because a lot of the writing is not 100% him. The first Metal Gears, like I think 1, 2, and 3, there's a lot more writers. But then when 4 came along, he had a lot more to say in the games, and that's when you get like completely cinematic. And then 5 comes around, and it's kind of like a not necessarily like a complete 180, but it's less like cinematic. There's a lot more gameplay to it. But he, like, I don't know why he just doesn't make a movie. Because he clearly just wants to make a movie. It's like George Romero making a lot of movies that look like zombie movies. Like, just make it. But yeah, I don't get, but yeah, Kojima is like, he's clever and he does a lot of stuff and he has like kooky and crazy and awesome ideas. But it wasn't just him. It wasn't just him. And that's kind of what a lot of people don't understand. Like, I remember people, like, Metal Gear 5 for winning the award for, like, the longest cutscene or something like that. I don't know. Like, yeah, he makes good stuff. I'm not denying that he makes good stuff, but he's not, like, the genius people think he is. At least I don't perceive it that way. He's just a guy that knows what he, like, is fan of stuff, and he wants to make his own thing, and he's left a mark on the world, even if he's still alive. But it doesn't mean that he's, like, Psychonauts guy, that guy's smart and clever. And dare I say a genius. Miyamoto, I don't know if I want to call him a genius, but he's certainly brilliant. Because he's come up with all these crazy ideas that were not the standard back in the time. So but even then, like Miyamoto himself has kind of like a weird guy over the years. Like he doesn't want Nintendo characters to have personality or names or something like that. Um, what movies do I like? I tend to favor a lot of. I don't fucking know. Like, I if I had to say like my favorite genre would be. I don't know what to say. Like, superhero movies are like bottom of the barrel stuff. That's not to say that there's like good movies that I like, but it's just like it's low hanging fruit. In terms of movies, I like spy movies a lot. Not big on drama. I just like things that are more straight and through line to the plot. Again, I don't watch a whole lot of horror movies. Um, Trying to think. Like one of my favorite movies to just watch is what was it called? Trying to think. It was called. It's not Quantum of Solace. It's Skyfall. Skyfall was my favorite one of the spy movies, and I really, 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 really like the Mission Impossible movies. They're a lot of fun. Um, One of my favorite movies is also The King's Speech. It's a very good and dramatic story. Highly recommend it if you haven't watched it. But I also enjoy a lot of comedies, like a lot of the 80s and 90s comedies I really like. Not the not movies like Revenge of the Nerds and stuff like that. I like Christmas Vacation, Vacation. I recently watched My Cousin Vinny for the first time, and that was a hoot. Um, I mean, it's just like stuff that I. Oh, you know what? You know, for me, the best superhero movies are the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. Not the third one, but Spider-Man 1 and 2 are probably the best superhero movies because they are the most like a comic. Because Sam Raimi is actually like a very good director, and he was probably the best choice for those movies because he knew how to frame things. He knew how to essentially make the movie a comic book, really. And it wasn't like cheesy. Well, I mean, it's plenty of cheesy and campy, but it wasn't like a comic panel or stuff like that. It was just, it was as if you made a comic book into a movie. It's what it felt like. No, the third movie is weird. It's super weird. It's not terrible though. It's just weird. I mean, I liked the like fair like fun, oddly enough, like I like Spider-Man 3. I don't hate it. But I like it in the sense that it's just a weird movie. If you look at it, like it's not a very good Spider-Man movie, but it is like a fun movie. Like it's fun because it's schlock. Oh no, it's not like it's not okay. Here, let's just. It's not a good movie as a movie. It's just a good bad movie. Like when you look at it, it's if you're not aware, Sam Raimi did not want to make Spider-Man 3, or at least what like he had a different version for Spider-Man 3. It was gonna be the last one, and he had a completely different version. It was only gonna be the Sandman, and it's why he's a compelling character in terms of the villain. But there was some studio meddling, and they were like, no, we gotta have more villains. You gotta have like this. You gotta have that, and essentially Sam Raimi did not want to make the movie, but they didn't want to find someone else to make it. So he made this movie, Spider-Man 3, out of spite. He hated the movie, and you can tell that a lot of the choices are just weird, but it was like, what can I get away with? Pretty much. And the entire movie just feels exactly like that. What can I get away with? Here's the thing though. I hope that if they're doing the multiverse thing with the Spider-Man movies, part of me wants for them to grab the Peter Parker in Spider-Man 3, the edgy Lord, as a joke, but they're obviously not going to do that. But as a joke, it would be pretty funny if they did that. There's another thing. Yeah, I agree with the on May from the Raimi movies. Here's the thing, I will say, I like Tom Holland as Spider-Man. The problem with the Marvel Spider-Man movies, the new ones, is that they don't have a lot of soul. They're fun, but they're not as fun as the Raimi movies. There's more heart in the Raimi movies. There's a lot more care. There's a lot more, and the Spider-Man movies that are today, they feel a lot more robotic. They're not as fun as the original ones, and they're more like uh, glossy. They're planned out. They're like in this big cinematic universe where Spider-Man has always been of like the neighborhood Spider-Man. It's just like a guy that he's just trying to like make it in life, and um, he has conflicts because people hate him, but also like it. Like that's his whole character, and like the Marvel movies are trying to pin him as the replacement for Tony Stark. They're giving him like all these grand things. When in the original Spider-Man's, he's just trying to save New York from being destroyed. It's not like world ending, and that's what's appealing from Spider-Man, in like my humble opinion. I'm not sure if in the comics he goes around and like this galaxy level threats and stuff like that. But I don't give a shit. I don't read comics. I think the golden age of comics died long ago, and I've never cared for reading comics. Uh, I feel like I'm focusing on these movies, which is what everyone is consuming. No, I like here's the thing. I like the new movies. I like them fine, but it's not they're not movies that I am willing to go out of my way to watch them again. Whereas the Sam Raimi movies, I've seen Spider-Man 1 dozens of times. And I've seen Spider-Man 2 several times. And there is a reason why they brought there's a reason they brought J.K. Simmons back. There's a reason they brought J.K. Simmons back. It's because it's the best interpretation of Jonah Jameson ever made. And they there's a lot of references to Spider-Man 1, and they're even going as far as bringing like original Dr. Octopus and that kind of stuff, because those two movies were like amazing. And yeah, I don't like the whole like thing of like other superheroes meddling with Spider-Man. Like that's a Marvel problem. That's a Marvel problem that they can't go small anymore, because they've already introduced this universe filled with superheroes, and then when they do a movie, because they're so entrenched with the concept of why isn't this superhero helping Spider-Man, or why there isn't this super... They can't do contained movies anymore. I saw Shang-Chi and the Seven Rings or whatever, and I was like, where are all the other superheroes? Why aren't they like helping with this threat? Because they would be aware of this thing. And one of like Doctor Strange's like friends, he's like around, but he's not really helping, even though he knows like there's weird shit going on. So it's kind of like they've essentially written themselves into a hole where there's no more room for small things. Which, in contrast, that's what DC is doing. They're like, okay, we're not going to do the world-ending threats anymore. We're just going to do, like, contained stories or small stories that they may or may not be connected to other stories, but they're going for small instead of, like, big and large. They're not trying to, like, they fucked up establishing a universe so many times that they're like, fuck it. Self-contained stories. Which are more fun to watch because they're more like about the character rather than trying to, build off your like doctor, like whatever it is. I like how in the Eternal Trainer they mentioned the exact same thing. Why didn't we help them? We were told not to. I have not seen the trailer. I'm burnt out on Marvel. I'm burnt out on like superhero movies. I just don't fucking care anymore. Because it's going to be the exact same thing with different superheroes. They're gonna find that it's Galactus. They're gonna lose to Galactus, and then they're gonna come back and defeat him. That's just what's gonna happen. Or I don't know whatever the fuck they're going for this time. Like that's the problem with Marvel. They already went to the top. They already beat a guy that killed half the universe, and they went back in time and defeated him. That's like, where the fuck do you go from there? Where? I would have honestly finished the Marvel Universe, waited a few years, and then done individual movies where people ask, no, they're not connected. We're just doing a new movie. We're just doing a movie on this character specifically. It's not going to be connected in any way, shape, or form. But it's too profitable. Then, as a glorious man, Rich Evans once said, it's too profitable, and they're not going to leave it alone. I'm trying to think here. I'm trying to see if I can do something different with the eyes. Maybe do something like this. I just wish we took a break from superhero movies. Just 1 year, 2 years. Like, it's enough. Like, the last superhero movie I saw, outside of the Shang-Chi movie, which it's not very good, was Black Widow, and it's probably the worst movie I've ever seen. Well, it's not true, but it's the worst superhero movie I've ever seen. And it's just like, guys, stop. Stop. At this point, it's just like, it's like a catalog. It's, fuck, I don't know. And you know what the worst part is? You know what? Oh my God. Okay, can I talk about something about Wonder Woman too? So, I want to say something about Wonder Woman too. I saw it. It was pretty bad. It was bad. But the thing about Wonder Woman is that the original Wonder Woman was written by some dude, and it was directed by Patty Jenkins, right? The lady director that they were touting or whatever. And Wonder Woman was, funny enough, like, touted as like a woman empowerment and stuff like that, which is fine. That's great. I appreciate that. That's not a bad thing. However, Patty Jenkins, the lady director, or the woman director, wrote Wonder Woman 2, and she wrote Wonder Woman as this one-dimensional, weak character that could not live without a man. Like 40 years or like however much time this dude died, she could not move on, and it was just like, how? Like, I'm sure it, like, I don't know if she wrote the script 100% or there was some studio meddling or whatever, but there, like, let me tell you, tonally, there's like a huge shift between 1 and 2. And it was just like, whoa. Like, her character went a complete 180 because in the original, like, Wonder Woman, like, she was just like a very powerful character. She, learned a few things and wasn't really one-dimensional. But then, like, 2 is just like, gotta have a man. Oh, wait, I don't need man. I can move on. But it's written in the most stupid way ever. And even then, like, she couldn't Wonder Woman was born to Mary Sue. I disagree with the Mary Sue stuff because I agree she was born powerful, but there are, and even Superman is like Gary Stu or whatever. But the thing is, like, Superman is a boring character because he's already super powerful and people like him a lot, and they're like, but Wonder Woman is at least, it suffers from the same issues where she's already incredibly powerful, but you can make her interesting because her family is kind of alive and she has to live, like, they were introducing some, like, interesting elements with her, like, once she leaves the island, she can't come back and that kind of stuff. So, like, they could have worked something out, whatever. Like, even the first Wonder Woman isn't, like, that amazing. But they did a good thing with her character where she was just like, oh, I'm going to save the world because evil is this guy. And then it's like, through her experiences, she learns that the world is more gray than it is black and white kind of deal. So that part was interesting about about it. But yeah, it's not easy making movies of characters that are, or like writing stories of characters that are already like super powerful. And here's the thing, I'm not trying to discredit Patty Jenkins. Like she did a good job with Wonder Woman. Like she didn't write the script, but she made the movie, and she did a good job with being her first like multi-million-dollar movie. And also, yeah, I like Forrest Gump. I cried during Forrest Gump. Are you asking in general or this specific one? Or this specific drawing? Uh, I don't know. I really don't know. I still need to see that movie that the guy who directed Guardians made. It's like the same Superman story, but what if he was a complete psychopath as a child? What movie was that one? I need to see. Oh, James Gunn. Yeah, that's the one guy that got canceled for like 10-year-old jokes, and he got uncanceled pretty quickly, but he moved on to work with Warner Brothers, and he made apparently like what is like one of the best DC movies. Would I practice anatomy to make muscular characters? I should practice musculature. I just haven't had the time, really. I'm like super involved with a lot of stuff. But I should make time for that. Absolutely should. Yeah, it doesn't like. Here's the thing, like I'm not for like I can't really say if I'm for or against cancel culture. It's just like I don't know what to say really. Oh, Brightburn apparently is pretty good. Um, I just don't like. There are some things worth getting mad about, and there are some stuff that while it's not okay, um, if the person isn't like if the person's like being innocent and they're not being like a raging asshole, or like if they've clearly moved on away from that, like I feel it's kind of like weird to go back and like unless it's something horrible that they've taken action on and not said. I don't know, like it's hard to say. I can't really comment on something like that because it's like admittedly I've said horrible shit in the past, but it's not like I live with like I already carry that in my conscious, and I've like retroactively I don't agree with whatever I said when I was like in high school and stuff like that, because maybe in high school I said some pretty bad shit, but it's also like time was different. Like it doesn't make it okay, but it was also like at that time it was just like haha, but it's like I can't like I'm not that kind of person anymore, right? Or like I don't say that kind of stuff. Like I watch my mouth. Like I respect people and stuff like that. So I'm clearly not that kind of person, uh, or really believe that kind of stuff. So it's like it's weird to just be like trying to nitpick to like try to cancel someone for something like that because they're like, yeah, but I'm not that person. I've clearly like moved on. But if they're doing that and they're trying to like apologize, and then it's different because then you can go, but hey, you've been clearly doing this for years. You haven't stopped, right? That's kind of like the perspective that I've taken into it. So it's like I don't think it's okay to dredge someone's past, unless it is a pattern of repeated offense. Like if someone does like horrible shit consistently, and that's the thing though. It's easier to like I don't know like it's a weird subject, and I'm not the best of people to like comment on it really, because it's just something that I'm like like I'm not, like the one thing I will say is that I'm not okay with mom mentality. Like I feel like it's always important to like take in all sides, and like someone needs to play devil's advocate, but people need to like instead of like lashing out at someone and just being like this and that. I think it's always appropriate to wait a minute, look at the things, and then just make sure. ¿Sabes dónde puedo? Do you know any web page to take references and draw more revealing or like more risque clothing? I'm trying to think, but normally when I try to draw risque, I always go to like Victoria's Secret or stuff like that, and I pick ideas and I try to put stuff together. And I have also like a huge treasure trove of references from other artists that I look at, and I'm just like, okay, I get take ideas from here, or like whatever. The thing I noticed that if you're someone in the media and you do something that will get people mad, like I don't want to say people get offended all the time because that's just like a moot argument at this point. Like everyone's weak, everyone gets offended, everybody gets offended. It doesn't matter if you're left, right, center, backwards, whatever. Like it doesn't matter. People will get upset by anything, and that's normal. It's happened throughout history. That shit is not an argument. What I will say is that the way you handle your upsetness, like being upset, is different. Like, there are some things that you have to, even if it's a little bit upsetting, you have to learn to let go, because there are some battles not worth fighting. I feel like there's other things that are more important, and you need to, like, if there's something that's upsetting, you need to just like take a step back. What is the bigger problem here? What am I offended at specifically? Because some people, you will notice that sometimes, like, you will forgive, like, sometimes, like, let's say like person A does something that upsets you, or like person A does something that upsets someone, but person B does it, but that person won't get upset. It depends on who does it, when it's done, and stuff like that. Because I've seen some things that some people do, and they relentlessly chased after or whatnot, and situations vary, because that sometimes some people have exhibited the same behavior over the years, whereas some people have not, but they are not like easily forgiven. But that someone else does it that is a lot more like well liked or whatever, and it's like, oh, like, it's like, boys be boys or whatever, that kind of deal. So it's like, even that is not consistent. So I don't know. I feel like it's just better if we uh, relax a little bit. I agree with the death threat stuff, but the death threats happen to even like people in the gaming industry, so I don't know. I just have the mindset that people who blow big funks on the internet over nothing, I feel like, I don't know, like, you'd be surprised at the kind of people that are, like, get upset on the internet. Like, they're, like, genuinely, like, I don't want to discredit, like, anything that it's worth getting upset about, but I don't know, like, um, it's a difficult subject, really. That, I think the larger problem is more of the echo chamber, that a lot of people are more, like you're saying, Ryu, is a lot more people are more close-minded, and they're not open to different opinions or hearing the other person out, because they are kind of set in their ways. Like, doesn't matter which side, both sides are, set in their ways, and they're not willing to um, be like, I don't agree with you, but I respect your opinion. Like, here's my side of my version, or like what I think or what I see. Um, but it's, the larger problem today is that you know, people are so entrenched in, you know, like it happens with video games. Like someone will say, I don't like this video game. Like I've been guilty of it, where I've seen like again, let's go to Donkey as an example. He's reviewed, like he's shat on like RPG games that I like, and not that I would comment on a video, but I've been genuinely upset where I'm like, I can't fucking believe this guy or whatever. It's just shit, you know? Okay, I think the phase is okay. But I don't know, like, here, the one thing I will say, because I kind of want to move away from the subject. The one thing I will say is, for you that's listening, for anyone that's listening on this, like, life's already hard. Like, just take it easy. Like, don't, you know, just relax. Like, if there's something that's worth getting upset about, you know, where it be like your rights being abused and that kind of stuff, just like, just go out, enjoy yourself, like, go bake a cake or something like that. Read a book, try to like open your mind up or something. Just like relax. Like life is already super hard. Don't make it hard for other people. Don't make it hard on yourself. Because if you're constantly getting upset, maybe the problem isn't with other people. Maybe the problem is with you. And maybe you might want to take a step back and just be like, okay, how can maybe I improve? Or maybe just learn to see a more positive side to things, or learn to take things as they come, right? Just relax. Like, we're not gonna be long on this earth. We don't know when we're gonna die. And just like if you're gonna spend most of your time being pissed off, like, just why live? Like, just relax. You know, don't make getting upset your like life motto. Just be happy, or try to be. Try to find like a middle ground. Sure, I can't talk about everybody's experience, because a lot of people have had like, you know, lives dealt them a shit hand. But all, like, everything's the way you take it, or the way you perceive it, or the way you live it. And if you find something that's worth getting upset about, don't or like something, a cause that you think is worth fighting for, don't sit around on the internet and try to crusade it. Go out of your way to like go to protest, or like go like be participant in the government, or be part of organizations that fight against whatever it is that you are vehemently against. Well, I mean, depending on what it is, really. If it's video games, and you're angry about someone's opinion about a video game, like, get a fucking life, or get off the internet, really. But otherwise, just like live it up. I don't know, like, find something. Or like, if something makes you really upset, like, and if you don't really need to comment on it, like, just don't say anything. Like, just keep it to yourself and just be like, I don't agree with you. Like, if you don't agree with someone, you can very much well agree with someone, but don't send them a death threat, or like be like they're wrong if it's an opinion. I don't know. Anyways, back to movies. I'm trying to think of like movies that I enjoyed growing up. Oh, you know what? I was thinking of rom-coms, and one rom-com that I really like is When Harry Met Sally. That's a good 80s movie, by the way. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend it. It's fun. I really enjoy that movie a lot. Fun with Dick and Jane is great too. Hey Lloyd. Fun with Dick and Jane is a great movie. Yes, I agree with you there. Muppet. Muppet movies are great. Makes me sad that they're not they didn't renew the Dark Crystal series. It was very good. I even went out of my way to see it in French. Not that it was dubbed originally in French, but I was studying French with that show, and I learned to like it a lot. Tim Curry at his finest. Tim Curry is fucking great. The one place untainted by capitalism. Spice. He is always appropriately hammy. That's something that guy can never be topped. Good old Red Alert 3. You know, I'm trying to think, like, trying to think here. Fuck it. I'm just gonna. Kung Pao and Kung Fu Hustle are top. Kung Pao and Kung Fu Hustle are so fun. You know what? I need to rewatch those movies. I think I saw them on Netflix, so I might go out of my way to see those later this week. Yes, Poppy. Oh, thank you for, it's a shame you haven't been able to catch with the streams lately. I will continue drawing for like maybe another half hour. I have a lot of writing to do tomorrow, so I want to get a fresh start tomorrow on that. Let me see if I want to do this one instead. Okay, I need to fix something really quick here. I'm gonna add a little bit of shading on the eye. I like anime, yeah. I haven't watched a whole lot of anime though, because the thing is, like, I don't know. It's just like there's so much anime out there that I just don't fuck with it, really. A lot of the times, like, I, I would more likely read a manga than watch anime, because I like, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I like looking at the pictures more than I like looking at the anime. There are some anime that I will go out of my way to watch, and one that's coming up is Konosuba, and that's the one I'm like looking, like I will watch that. But most of the times I'm just not like generally interested in like anime. But I like chill anime or stuff that's like slice of life, comfy anime. There's gonna be a Shenmue. Oh my god. Every time I hear Shenmue, I think of the oh god, I need to find that sound clip. Let me see if I can find the Shenmue grunt. I need to focus on my anatomy. It's pretty weak. Not gonna lie. So let's see here. That's much better. And then I just gotta do this. And then I can go ahead and fix a few things. That's a face. Just gonna go here. Yeet that. There we go. Clean this up. This here. Let me see if there's any misalignment. Okay. Go over here. Okay, I see. All right. How much of a help would you say flipping the image is when making? Well, here's the thing. When you flip the image, let's say, I don't know which. Here, let me just do an example. Let's say you're drawing something, you know. And you flip it, you're trying to make sure that it looks right. Even if the orientation is one way, like let's say you're trying to orient the image this way, you're trying to just make sure that it looks good. You're trying to, yeah, if it looks disproportionate, because you want it to look good, like even if you flip it or not, you just want to make sure it looks okay. Because you might be drawing the entire time in one direction, and then when you turn it, you're like, oh shit, yeah, this doesn't look right. It's always good to flip the image constantly. Like for example, this foot. It looks okay, even if, like I flip it a lot, just to make sure that it looks right either way. So I flip it here. Okay, it looks all right. Looks okay. All right, I can move on. Yeah. And it's inevitable that you'll notice some stuff that needs to get fixed anyways. So if you keep flipping, it'll help you notice it earlier on, which will make your job easier in the long run. Like for example here, I need to fix this here. So now I go back and fix these things. So let me go here and erase this. Patch it here. Patch it here. In terms of fighting games, they're not necessarily not my cup of tea. I just don't play them. I'm not really like that much of a fighting game expert or like a player. Like I did get good at Dragon Ball Fighter Z, but it was because it was super accessible. And that game I was like, okay, I get it. But games that require reaction times, I suck at them. Because I can't, like, I'm not good at that kind of stuff. And I get stressed when I'm competing, so, yeah, more likely to make a mistake. But yeah, I think some fighting games are good. I used to play a lot of Dead or Alive when I was younger. I still have my original copy of Dragon Ball. That's a good game. That's a very good game. I miss Budokai. Budokai Tenkaichi 3 was my jam. If I can find a copy of that game, I'll play it on stream. Even if it's just story mode. Because I really liked that game. It was a lot of fun. Okay, let's see here. Okay, I managed to fix skin a little bit. Let me see if I can. I am interested in Guilty Gear. I have the previous Guilty Gear game, not the new one. I'm just kind of lazy, because then I have to pick it up, learn how to play it, and I don't know. I probably just do the story rather than competing and stuff. Which some people will argue that's not the point, but what do I care? I just want to play the waifus. What I've been thinking of doing is just like a gacha stream. Just like play all the gachas that I play currently on one stream. Just do my dailies for most of them and show people like flex on my pools and stuff like that. I don't know that I would do like pool streams because I don't like it's not that it's not a good thing. It's just like I don't want to. It will probably end in me just spending $50 and then getting nothing, and then just being well. However, if I were sponsored by any of the gachas that I play, I would do one of those. But I'm just probably just gonna do like a stream of like Punishing Gray Raven and then Azure Lane and then some other like gacha games. that I play. Don't play a whole lot though. I've been like lowering the quantity of games that I play. Like without jinxing myself, I think I have okay pools in the games that I play, but a lot of the pool streams, people just spend crazy amount of money. I mean, here's the thing. I do spend money on gacha, but lately it's more cosmetic than anything, especially in Azur Lane. I'm very good with resource management, depending on the game. But I've resorted to not spending any money if I don't have to. Or, well, I mean, you generally don't have to in those games. It's because you want to gamble. But, yeah, I don't know. Like again, those games, if you really want to throw your money away, it's entirely up to you. That's why, like, a lot of people, you know, some people see pool streams and the guy's like dropping, like, the guy or gal is dropping like $300 dollars a pool, like, on a stream, or like people will donate more for them to pull. Like, nah, I want to do that. Like, if I drop money, it'll be on my own time. And keeping to myself, and then showing off. Well, I mean, I don't know really. I might do some poll streams, but it's with resources. 0.0002% chance of pulling my waifu. The general rule of thumb is that rate up is a lie, and so you want to be careful. I mean, it's not, because legally they have to disclose it, but yeah, be careful. Like, one game that I absolutely don't like, and I still play it, is Fate Go. Because their pull rates are the worst, yet I still feel compelled to play it. Even the gameplay is like somewhat outdated. Well, not somewhat, it's pretty outdated. And I still play it. And I don't even give a fuck about the story. It's like, I just don't fucking care. Like, I'm just like the waifus. They have consistent and good art. It's kind of like the best way I can describe it. Thank you. I'm sorry. Listen, I don't like Fate that much either, yet I still play it. You are entitled to hate it, and I will agree with you. but I'm still here. I'm still back on the fucking saddle, pulling for Maria the Ripper. I have a friend that buys Fate's account with loopholes on it, and I just tell him it's time to stop. Yeah, when you get to that point, maybe you should be doing the new accounts, or just like stop. Maybe you have a problem. Hi, my name is Wilford Brimley, and I like to talk to you about gotcha. Well, actually, Fate wasn't originally a porn game. The story behind it is, allegedly, is that it was made first a visual novel, and then they added the porn just to sell, just to increase the sales. Because it was such a niche game at the time. Or something like that, I don't know. Not a lot of people know that it was a porn game. Because they re-released the original visual novel without the porn. And it kind of didn't really change much. How did I do this? Yeah. Okay. Just wanted to confirm something. Okay. They in defense of Fate, they do a good job of making a lot of their stories interesting, but they're not really like the most amazing thing on this planet Earth. Really, they're just taking a bunch of historical figures, making them look hot, and it's not very consistent. It's just like all over the place, and they're like, ooh, like, and they're always like backtracking and doing weird shit, and it's just like, it's just like waifus and husbandos, the game. Like, you just like, you're gonna make the same character 30 times, like Saber, as far as like game stories goes, or anime stories go, Fate is just okay. It's not like it's smart. It's just there are a lot of smart moments, but it's not. It's not like a brilliant piece of work. It's just okay. Now, if you think you're smarter than other people because you enjoy a game that's essentially just a waifu game, like, get a life. Like, nobody actually really cares. It's literally just a product at this point. But people, you know, people will do that out of any game, so Fate isn't really like, this isn't really exclusive to Fate. Like the kids at the beginning of Rick and Morty thought they were the smartest people on Earth. Rick and Morty isn't even a smart show. It's there's smart things in it, but it's not even like, I don't know. I liked it the first 2 seasons. After season 3, it was just like, I don't give a fuck anymore. It became commercial garbage. And I'm not saying it in like a hipster way. I just don't like. It got to a point where I was just like, they're just trying to generate moments that create virality at this point. And it doesn't feel sincere the same way the first 2 seasons felt. At least, that's what I think. Oh yeah, the Szechuan sauce. Yeah. Yeah, that was a big problem. Everyone was going to McDonald's wanting the Szechuan sauce because it was a fucking joke for a moment in Rick and Morty. And everyone's like, "Oh, we gotta have that sauce because it's a Rick and Morty sauce." And McDonald's was stupid enough to restock it because people were like not really lining up for McDonald's stuff. It was just the sauce, and the sauce isn't even that good. You can find better Szechuan sauce in an actual Chinese restaurant, or I don't fucking know. You can order it from Amazon. People are stupid though, yeah. Yeah, I guess the smart people that watch Rick and Morty couldn't figure out that Szechuan sauce is a Chinese sauce that you can find. Or I don't know if it's Chinese American, but it's a sauce that you can pretty much find in any Asian like Chinese restaurant. Or order it online. McDonald's is just processed garbage. Last season I liked it, but yeah, the creators wanted to go back to the episodic and non-seasonal canon format. I don't know, like I am through with the adult comedy format because pending the success of Rick and Morty, there's a lot of shows that come out that are supposedly cartoons for adults, but they're always the same shit. And none of the adult shows or cartoon art adult shows are very creative. Like, kids shows tend to be more creative than the adult ones, because the adult ones are like, they said fuck and this is funny because it's a cartoon. No. If you want to make an adult show, just like make something adult and don't necessarily make it a comedy. Make it a fucking adult show. Make it a fucking, like Spartacus, make it a cartoon or something like that. I don't know. Every fucking, like, goddamn stupid show is a comedy show, and then labeled an adult, and then it's just, like, filled with adult jokes that are not even funny. And then it's just like, oh. But it's, like, it's funny that the adult shows capture more kids than adults, because kids are attracted to the fact that it's for adults, but it's a cartoon. But it's not even like... But then kids show captivate more adults because they're made in a more intelligent fashion sometimes, most of the times. And they have some adult jokes that are actually funny. Because a lot of the driving force for Rick and Morty is just like the nihilism from Rick, and that got old for me. Like the fact that he doesn't give a fuck. And that's supposed to be fun for however many seasons it's been going. Did I? Oh, fuck. I got scared. Okay. We're almost done with the hair and also the stream. Let's see. Like, I was just thinking, like, what if they did, like, an adult show that's not focused on, like, crude comedy, but more of, like, violence? Because you see, like, how some animes are, like, pretty adult, where they have, like, graphic violence and stuff like that. Why not make a show that's just... What was that Gendy Tartakovsky show, Primal, or something like that? Have more shit like that. So let's grab this color here. Let's fix a little bit of this. Okay. I think a lot of people have settled on anime aimed at adults rather than expect much from adult age. And that's a shame because you can have pretty good it doesn't have to be that way. It's just that comedy is just easier to make. Just make the character say fuck or talk about crass topics and whatnot, and then, you know, you don't have to be clever. Just do stuff that you can't do in a kids show, and then that's it. And then get Netflix to stream it, and you're good. Run it for 75 seasons, and then laugh your way to the bank. Shock value and curse words. Yeah. But hey, I don't like commenting too much like on stuff that I don't watch a whole lot, because I'm kind of like just talking about why I don't watch a whole lot of adult cartoons. The one that I did like was like South Park continues to be the king of adult shows, I think, because they're very clever most of the time. The Simpsons was for like a few good seasons. After it fell apart, but Ross movie when? Maybe someday. You know which movie I watched recently? I might be going crazy, but I think I said this. My Cousin Vinny. I watched it because I was watching an episode of Seinfeld, with Marissa Tomei, and I was like, I've heard of this movie, My Cousin Vinny, and and it was pretty fun. I liked it a lot. I recommend it if you haven't seen it. We need something to love of Futurama again. That's the thing. Like Futurama did adult without intentionally being for adults. It made it accessible enough so it was like right on the grounds of 16-year-olds plus, but then adults could watch it and just be like, ah, this is funny. Because the show was inventive and clever. It didn't necessarily change the panorama, but it was a landmark show. And it did tons of things right. And I think Futurama is a once in a lifetime thing. And it was like a perfect storm. Or lightning in a bottle, as they say. Okay, now it's good. Let's see. Let me just check something here. Yeah. I hope it stays once in a lifetime and not some network producer suddenly deciding to remake it but make it worse. It's gonna happen within our lifetime. Like maybe for 1 or 2 seasons, but I don't know. Like if Matt, like the original creators have it in them. I don't know if they own the rights or not. Technically, Futurama is now owned by Disney. I think because wasn't Futurama like Fox? Because now I think because Disney bought Fox and they own Simpsons technically. So I don't know. Okay. We're about the halfway point with Poppy. I need to work on her clothes. And then Disney now owns The Simpsons and Family Guy. God damn. This is the background. So this is what it kind of looks like right now. Yeah, I figured as much. Alright, okay. I hope I can finish it tomorrow, because I want to do more of this and do other stuff and do some commission work. So we'll see. Yeah, oh, by the way, if you guys, I don't know if this is a good moment to bring that up. I will probably bring it up some other point. I was gonna bring up like a tip jar that I have, but I'll do it some other time, because I don't want to link my streaming with that stuff. I want to link it directly with art, so I'll talk about it some other time. Anyways, yeah, I think let me just go to the living room for a second. Yeah, so we're at the end of the night, so I'm gonna walk you all out. Thank you everyone for joining. Sorry it was spontaneous. I'll try to have a longer stream later this week. For sure this week I will have an art stream, and I will work on my model. I mean, look at it. I want to start designing some new stuff for my new outfit. It's more than one outfit. I want to have a couple. And then I need to also fix a few things, get a new hairstyle, yada, yada, yada. So I need to start planning for that. So please look forward to it. And the next game I will stream, don't know. I think it might be System Shock 2. I'll try to do that in long stream forms, but we'll see. I'll focus on the art for now, and then I'll think about the next game. Maybe Yakuza, but we'll see. Anyways, good night everyone. Have a good day if you're starting your day. Bye.